Hello there. I got a few videos, not of me, um, on my phone. My hands are blue because, ooh, my hair. Anyway, that I will be working on getting uploaded today. Um, Basically, just wanted to pop in and let you know I've just been having some crazy crap going on, and now I have to get legal aid involved because it's crazy. I do automatic payments for my rent, and it's been almost 3 years. September will be 3 years that I've lived here, and I've used the same place all along. Suddenly, I just found out that the apartment, the guard, they claim since March or so, April, for the last 6 months, that I haven't paid my part of the housing voucher, which is like, no. I get an email every month saying it was taken out of my account, but there's already a court. By the time I was notified, made aware of it, I had no idea it was even, they weren't being notified. Suddenly it's like a court date and everything. I'm like, what's happening? Yeah. So this all broke last week, and all the stuff. Be careful. This is what I want to tell you. Be careful if you, if you vote, or like if you look forward to the sample ballots, or if you ask for a mail-in ballot and it wasn't sent, or you didn't get one, or if you have a housing voucher, use the housing authority, or whatever its equivalency is in your state, that's New Jersey, or if it's like the Office of Temporary Assistance, but it's called other things in other states, where you get like the food stamps, where you get the EBT, or all these other helps like utilitarian, debit, like a percentage off type of thing for low income, and all these different programs for the place. If any of those are in the return address, a lot of times they get delivered late or months late. Sometimes we're not just talking like days late, we're talking like months late, or they never show up at all, or occasionally they get sent back to the sender. Well, government agents that have like governmental stuff, Social Security, the places I mentioned, they don't really communicate via email. They have to have verification that that person is at that address, and so they send it so you could respond. But if you don't get it, how do you know to look for something? So if it doesn't show up in your mailbox, you don't know you're supposed to be getting something. And they don't verify. They ask these places, they ask for your phone number, they ask for your email, but they don't use them. And I questioned them last year when something like this happened. I never got. See, the thing is, DeJoy, ever since he got in, like in 2020, he got, when we had all that stuff with the election that year, and how with Trump with the voter mail-in voting is not legal, or which is bull. But anyway, and he DeJoy took out the machines after the courts demanded that they put those resorting machines back in. They wanted to delay getting postmarked, mail-in ballots, because they know Democrats more than Republicans use it. And that's why you find the surge when you go to sleep on election night, and the next morning, oh my God, what happened? Because all the Democrat votes, all the mail-in votes from military, from the rest of us, those are counted last. Just so you all know. The votes that are counted first are the votes from election day. When those are tabulated, they start going, and starting to tabulate the mail-in ones and the ones that came through military. Okay, so that's why it surges the way it does. It's not some big mystery of massive dumps, okay? But DeJoy knows that there's time limits, that you only have, X amount of months or weeks sometimes when you get those letters. They're recertification letters for EBT, or they're, or for the housing voucher things, stuff like that. And they know that if you don't respond, he knows that they're not going to reach out to you by email, and so they're not. You don't even know to look for some things. If something's coming up that's not a typical, like I know when recertification months are, that stuff. And inspections for the housing voucher. So I have like 3 inspections a freaking year. One for housing voucher, one for the state, one for the county. It's like, oh gosh. Anyway, it's not my fault that suddenly something's going on, and they say for the last 6 months I haven't paid my part of the housing voucher. That's freaking insane. But that's what happens. I know I'm skipping around right now. The die sunk into your head. Ha ha ha. But they will take those letters, all those things from those 3 places, and specifically, and Social Security for, and they will either throw them in the resort. Like sometimes if something gets jammed, you'll get a letter, late, or it's a piece of mail, and it's got a rip, and it's in a bag, or it's taped, or something with a stamp, that whatever, like something got jammed in them. Sometimes they got jammed and they're just wrinkled up, but they're not broke. All those go into a sorting, just boxes, sorting those, and whenever they get to them, they redo them, because sometimes they have to be processed by hand, because the crinkled ones are going to crinkle again in the machine. They won't go through easily, and so they have to hand sort them. And I got something from May 8th. May 8th. I don't go to the mailbox. I go every week, but there's been times where I've been hurting with the bad weather, with humidity, and it's really hurting my foot. And I don't normally get mail, snail mail. Usually it's all digital stuff except for those things. And I know when to expect something from them. And if something like this happens, how am I supposed to know? You know? Anyway, this didn't, for this chance, have anything to do with that. I don't think. I think what's going on is I pay a company. How when you pay your utility bills, if you pay it, if it's not automatic payment and you just pay it by card every month or something, that you have, they usually charge like a $4.75, $5 charge. So if your gas bill is $30, it's $35 to actually pay it. But it's getting there immediately. Well, it's the same thing for the rent that I've done with these Knoll Gardens, but it's the same thing with the rent, except because they want to have it by the 5th, and it's down in Trenton, and if I don't get my direct deposit from Social Security, from SSI, until the 1st, even if I had a checking account or I got a money order, getting from on the 1st down to Trenton, which it's the same state, but again, the post office, it might not be there by the 5th. Because sometimes if that's a weekend, it's, got to be before or whatever. And I don't need a late charge every month just for that. And so they said, you can do it, just set it if you use this place that I use. And so I told you that story just so you see I don't know what's going on, because I have email confirmation. I showed the guy that was here, this caseworker, on my. I found I didn't. I've got to look today, but I know must have them. In email, when I get a confirmation email for anything that I paid digitally, I don't just delete it because I figure they've got it. I put it in a folder that I've made in my email, and for paid bills, and I've been doing that for a couple years, just because shit like this happens. So I found that, and I found the latest one, which was this month, July, I think it's the 3rd or something. That, confirmation such and such was taken out of your account of such and such, you know, for to such sent to such and such. So he saw it, and I told him, we went on the phone at legal aid. Yeah, that was. So sometime this week, starting tomorrow, call me on the 5th. I've got a phone consultation. By then I'll get all the other emails out, and I mean, this is absurd. All because I don't know what the hell suddenly in March that suddenly, why did, that's not my fault. That's coming out of my account, but yet this is all the aggravation I have to go through because they have effed up. I mean, that's like, I'm all calm now, but I was freaking panicked Friday, all week last week. Because up until like Thursday or Friday, I didn't even know why. I was getting something about court, but earlier, a day or so before, and I'm trying to figure that out. My caseworker's trying to figure out what the hell's happening here. What is this all about? And that's when Friday and a court paper, like these documents, like I have to appear and all this stuff, was rolled up in one of those plastic bags that you hang on the door, and that was on my door. Don't, I mean, it was, don't notifications like that have to be done in person? I don't understand any of this. So this is what I'm dealing with. Just to let y'all know, in case any of you have some shit like this happen. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and then that tech outage we had the other week. I'm wondering how many other people that this company doesn't charge me $5 to process, to take my money out of my checking account and send it where I need to for my rent. Just to do that, they charge like $30 freaking dollars. $30 damn to do that. Utility places only charge $5. That's the only way to do it automatic. That's like, are you insane? So I used the one they suggested because they have it all set up between them. So 2.5 years go by, and then suddenly shit, what happened? So just telling you the story because, yeah, you can't make this shit up with me. What the hell is it with me? Even when I don't do anything wrong, I still wind up being in a fucked up pickle. It's crazy. People would say, oh, sometimes they would say, oh, well, you just play the victim. How am I playing the victim? I'm going about my job, my life, not my job. I'm going about my life. You have automatic payments, number one, so it's always paid and always paid on time. Hello. I only don't do automatic payment with the electric company because I don't trust them. I do it with the gas, with anybody else, but I don't trust the electric company, sorry. Oh, and I don't do it with the internet because the only one we're allowed we can have for internet is Optimum. Don't start me on Optimum. Don't start me on Optimum. Don't start me on Optimum. Okay. And I don't trust them. So both of those I know I when I get I have to pay attention. But the rest of my stuff is on automatic payment. And yet here I am with one of the most important automatic payments. Your rent slash mortgage. It's rent for me. And you wait 6 months to say, excuse me, are you gonna pay everything that you're supposed to or not? You haven't. They don't let me know this beforehand. Everybody who works here, like maintenance and front desk and everything, they live on complex. So they can't. The company can't have one of the people from the office actually physically come to my home and buzz my door and ask what's going on. I don't even understand how it got that far. Anyway, and if they did send notifications like in the mail, again, you got to do something other than snail mail if you don't get any kind of response, because let me notify anybody there that is in charge of a company or something like that. We don't get a lot of things from mail, or we get them late, sometimes very late. And I cannot be the only person. It happened at the last place I lived at years ago, but that's because I lived over a convenience store, and somebody was working, and he wouldn't give me a separate box from the business, which is illegal. But the post office won't press charges. I have to. It's like absolutely absurd. You have to have the charge. The cost. If you don't have the cost, then what are you gonna do? And they kept collecting, and they wouldn't put my mail back in. It would just sit there, right there. They would just put it aside instead of putting it back in the box. Um, or just throw it away if it wasn't the store. Not even considering, maybe it's the person that lives upstairs. If they don't know my name, it's like, what the F? Now, excuse me, how is any of that my fault? The landlord is responsible. The post office says it's illegal to get personal mail in and business mail, unless it's a home business type of thing. So they were supposed to have one box for the little convenience store and one box for the tenant upstairs, but they didn't. But if that's a law per the post office, then they should be the one supplying the legal, to say, no, y'all need to, and tell the landlord, you need to do this. But they don't. It's upon the poor fucking tenant who doesn't own the property or the damn box, so is the one least culpable for the issue. And the two that are most responsible just get off without any responsibility. How the F does that make sense? How the F does that make sense, guys? It's freaking nuts. But that's really my only problem right at the current moment. And isn't that I definitely did more. You should see it in the sun. We don't have any sun today. But yeah, so just and the only reason I told you all that is not to air my dirty laundry or, oh, poor me. I'm already, it's not like I'm expecting shit to go wrong, but let's put it this way. I still do everything I can to have things work right. I'm not saying they never do, It's just so frustrating when you do your responsibility to make sure things go right. And then you also kind of double check to make sure, other people did their part, and you're still kind of like doing above what your responsibility is, and it still gets effed up. And the only person that pays anything is the person who got effed up. And that wasn't responsible. So, if that sounds like a familiar story to you, yeah, I get it. And it's not that I'm like, oh, I'm always the victim. It's not like people say, oh, well, if you expect it, that's what you're going to attract. It's not that I'm expecting it. It's that, let's put it this way, I'm not surprised. I'm still like, let's just hope this all goes right. But it's like if you drive always expecting green lights, then you're going to get frustrated when you hit the amber and the red lights. If you drive, say, with the mindset of, he's gonna poke my chair. Nope, he's gonna sleep on the cushion. But if you drive with the mindset of, boy, I hope I get these green lights. I hope. Then when you do see an amber light or a red light, you're not gonna be like, oh, get all frustrated. It's like, all right, so I got a red light here. Okay, so I got three red lights in a row. That's the kind of mindset. It's not a victim mindset. I'm expecting good, but I'm prepared if the best doesn't occur. For me, that's a way to still have, hope, positive thoughts, but still be reasonable about it, because you're not going to get green lights every day you're driving, every time. It just isn't happening. Hello, Mr. Pants. Hello, Mr. Pants. He's thinking, who the hell is she talking to again? She's not looking at any of us, but she's yapping away. I know. I that look, I get that look from him a lot, guys. I love you. I love you. Oh, I love you, puppy. You see the eye kiss and the tail flip? God, I live for that. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off in a second. But yes, be aware that actually happens. And some places actually would go that long before they do anything. But it's crazy because if somebody doesn't pay a bill for 6 months, maybe find out if that person's okay. And maybe find out, do they know that, are they gonna, anything. I don't understand that. So, if that makes sense to any of you, how they went about doing it, and then just putting it on my door. I was in the shower a total of 10 minutes, and you can still, because it's not a ding dong, it's a buzzer thing. Even when you're in the shower, you can freaking hear that buzzer. And that's what I don't understand. Why did you not personally let the person know? If that makes sense to you, or if you can explain to me why they think the way they did it is the best way to do it, and it might make sense to me, but these blue they'll wash off. I'll do some dishes and it'll be gone. Because I use Dawn. But yeah, explain that to me if you guys can, or if anything like that's happened to you, let me know down in the comments, because sometimes it really feels like, what the F? Why is every freaking scam, every hacker. I don't get to hacking so much, as much as onto like the bank stuff. Do you guys, has it happened to you guys? That kind of stuff or anything like that? Because I've had several times. I don't know if it's one person with my name every now and then with a little rage hacking or something. I don't know. Um, but let me know if you have any ideas what's up. And I'm not talking to y'all trolls. So if it's a troll, it's some clever little, let me think about some clever little suggestion. Whatever. Okay? Um, but serious, the serious viewers out there, if, yeah, if you guys can make that make sense for me, I'd appreciate it. Otherwise, I'm waiting for the attorney, I guess, to get some more information that he needs. Um, and then on the 5th, I'll have the actual uh, phone consultation. And because it's supposed to be the 15th that I'm going to court. I mean, why do I even need to go to court if I can find those emails? If I have those emails for all those that the place, the proxy, that paid it, that says, confirmation you paid, then why should I have to go to court? I should just need to send those, get those from my email and send them to the attorney, and that they should be able to show them. And I mean, you didn't get paid. Talk to the company that took the money out of her account and told her you were paid. Talk to them. I'm hoping I don't have to go to court and we can figure all this out. Could have figured all of this out and not had the court, even cost to file. If I just had asked the next month, hey, Judy, you didn't pay your rent. Is what's going on? I would have been like, yeah, I did, and it would have been a month or two in question. Anyway, whenever the hell gets figured out, if you guys want to know, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, yeah, I won't bother telling you what happened. In the meantime, pay attention when you go swimming with the hair, because that's the whole thing with the summer look for me. When you go swimming, number one, it doesn't matter where. If where you're swimming eventually ends up, even if it's a river, ends up at the ocean, be careful, because yes, bull sharks can still live in fresh water. So be careful. And not only that, there's a difference in the colors that you wear. The way you see the colors in a swimming pool are not the same as you see the colors in a lake or an ocean, at a beach. People think, oh, I can see that green, that bright green, very clearly in a clear, chlorinated water of a pool. I have a graphic on it. Put that next to a darker water of a lake or the ocean, and suddenly that bright green is not that visible. So somebody's looking for bright green and you're barely seeing a green hue in a little area. It's not the same. So the same bathing suits, the same color bathing suits that are fine at your pool, think twice about if you're going to swim in a lake, especially kids, but people drown too. People have problems. It's a lot easier in darker, murkier water of a lake or the ocean to see only there's only two or three colors, and bright pink is one of them. So guys, suck it up. I think yellow is another. That bright yellow. Um, yeah, look it up. Colors in a pool versus lake, and you'll probably see the optic. It's scary. It's scary. You think your kids or people that don't swim so well or older people or something like that or anybody can get a leg cramp and drown, even a great swimmer. Okay, they're more familiar with dealing with them, but nonetheless it happens, and you're not as visible. The person that's needing rescuing is not as visible as your eye sees them in the air, okay, or in a clear pool of water. Just keep that in mind, because a lot of people are swimming, but I think it's bright pink and bright yellow, and not the neon green yellow. I'm talking, even this neon green yellow. I'm talking, it needs to be yellow, yellow, like yellow. Like in your face yellow, and in your face bright pink. That is what they see. I was surprised because I would have thought that bright neon green, that lime in your face, I love it green that my hair was the other month. Um, I love that color, and I really thought that would be a visible color in like water, such as lake or an ocean, and it was shockingly not. And you would think white, get right. Mm-mm. Obviously, black isn't, but it's definitely eye-opening, no pun intended. So go Google colors in pools versus, I think you'll come up with that, versus lake, I think is what they had. Very, very eye-opening. And it's something that I think it's the graphic that should be posted at every beach, um, at every lake, and at every public swimming pool. Because the people that are swimming at a public pool probably would also go to a beach or a lake. So just be aware. Be aware. And even when you're thinking you're being aware, you're not as aware as you think you are sometimes. So that was information for me. That was news to me. So anyway, peace out. Have a great Sunday. It might not be super sunny. It's overcast, but it's not gloomy overcast. As you can see, it's still light. It's just diffused. And the temperature, though, it's it's got to be just the 70s, and it's coolish, but not cold, and it's not a warm breeze. It's got that just tipped over to that cool breeze that barely moves the leaves. You can see them. I can see them. So go out and enjoy it if your weather is like that, because I'm going to be. I gotta go get garbage. It's always garbage. For one person and two cats, it's always flipping garbage. Anyway, peace out, guys. Have a great Sunday. I love you.